Hey, Pro Organizers, it's Melissa, and this is part 2 of everything AI that you need to know for your professional organizing business. If you have not listened to part 1, you can just flip right back. But in this conversation, this is going to be 30 minutes of really super impactful stuff that will actually help your business move forward. I do not say that lightly. There are some really good, I should probably be more humble and be like, yeah, I mean, we got some stuff for you. No, Bree has some heavy hitting information for you about how you can leverage AI for your professional organizing business. We are talking about things that will get you more clients, that will expand your revenue, that will grow your business, and they are really, really not challenging. The other plug I'm going to give, in case you're like, I don't really know. No, I want you to stay because there is a tip that we give that actually came from someone in the session at the How To Summit. And I did not write her name down, and I would love to find her. So if you are the person that told us this, if you are listening to the podcast, please reach out and tell me, hey, it was me, because I want to give you credit. But we had a participant in our workshop that gave an idea that she said people just like throw money at her when she does this using ChatGPT, and we're going to talk about how to do it as well. And bonus, we don't have it up yet, but we will have an actual tutorial that we are going to be putting out that is going to make you a lot of money. So there you go. Quickly, before we get started, go to proorganizerstudio.com/links, and we have the slides for this because there are some things that it's easier to see. It will help you understand a little bit more. I understand podcast is an auditory medium, so we're trying to make it a little multimedia for you. So go there. We also have information on our Inspired Organizer program. Enrollment closes on November 11th, 11/11. We are closing. We're going to be making a bunch of changes and having a price increase. I would love for you to get in before that. And I think that's it. So here you go with part 2 of Cabri and me talking about AI. Have a great day. So prompts are your beginning conversation with AI. It's essentially whenever you log into some AI platform, it is what you're asking for, what you're needing help with. I like to think of it as giving it the destination point and your end point, and then it is going to map out the middle piece and give you direction on that. The better and more detailed the prompt is, the better the results are going to be. And I have a couple different examples for this. Like I said, I'm telling you all my secrets. A year ago, I was using it for recipes, and I didn't realize the behind the scenes algorithm action that was happening with my personal ChatGPT. And so as it's learning me, as it's learning my prompts, it picks up on all that information. So this is another kind of key thing. The more detail that you can give it, the better it learns you. And the better that it learns you, the better results it can give you back. The next thing, during our presentation, you did a video that really described why prompts were so important. And it was, let me just describe it, and we'll put it in if you're going to watch this at proorganizerstudio.com/links. You can see it, but it was a teacher who had little kids who had written stories about how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And basically, the boil down was she took exactly what they wrote and she followed it to the T and ended up with, peanut butter and jelly on her arms all over it. The kids were like, no, that's not how you do it. And her point was, you have to explain it properly. Like, nobody said, take the bread out of the package. Nobody said, take a knife and put it in the peanut butter and put the peanut butter on the bread. Like, they were not describing it. And so it was just a really funny video to make people realize you have to be descriptive. And that's the big thing with prompts. You have to give more information rather than less. Yes. The more detail that you can get, just the better off you're going to be. It's going to learn more about you. It's going to be able to generate a better result. And it will help you not to make peanut butter and jellies all over your arms. Right. I do love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, though. So that video is like one of my favorites. So it's really great. You guys really should go see it. Like, I will make sure that you have it very easily accessible because it really gets to the point in 90 seconds, unlike most other people could do. So it's a good one. Okay, so when you write a prompt, like what are the most important things for writing a prompt?
So I literally am trying to map out as much detail as possible. Before, when I was just beginner using AI, I would just type in, I need 30 Instagram captions for a professional organizer. Over time, I have learned that the better description I give ChatGPT, the better it gives me. So now I will ask for, hey, I need 30 Instagram captions for Lubbock, Texas. The tone needs to be warm and professional. I want it to be around these 3 content pillars. By the way, I would like it to have a hook, and make sure that you're using call to action. And oh, by the way, I also don't want any emojis. So that's essentially what I am then telling ChatGPT. And so you go from like, here's a beautiful pantry, done, to, oh, hey, minimize and organize in Lubbock, Texas, design this beautiful pantry with these gorgeous products. And it just is a game changer when it comes to what it's going to be able to generate for you.
Yeah. So the same thing when I started out, I just was asking very basic questions. And by the way, it gives you answers. It's not like it says, oh, sorry, you need to be more specific. It will give you an answer, and it will give you 30 Instagram captions for professional organizing business, some of which are totally fine. But you get such a better result when you spend a little bit of time to give it a lot of instruction. And we're not talking about paragraphs and paragraphs. We're talking about 4 sentences instead of 1. This is not a lot of extra work, but you get a much better result. The next example that we had here were about blogs. So I would like to just go on a mini rant about blogs for just 1 second, because I talked to a lot of people about the 6 pillars of a digital foundation that an organizer needs for their business, one of which is blogging. And the hand-wringing and the gnashing of the teeth that happens when people are like, I'm not a writer and I can't be a blogger and I don't know what to say and I don't know all the things. AI is the most perfect thing. If you are scared of AI, if you're not really sure, please just start out using it to write some blogs. I want you to blog once a month, and AI I can't think of a better tool to use to try to get past some of these writing blocks for you, to make sure that you are getting good SEO on your website. So examples of an okay prompt is write a blog about a project recap that focused on organizing a butler's pantry. But a really good prompt is write a 2,000-word blog about ways to organize a butler's pantry, include a section about different organizing styles and suggestions for different organizing styles, include 2 locations for calls to action, and 2 locations within the blog for lead magnet opt-ins, include 4 to 6 keywords related to home organization and 4 to 6 keywords that are geographically focused for SEO purposes. I know that was a mouthful, but that is going to yield you a just infinitely better result. And it's going to create less work for you to add your own voice and feeling to that than the first prompt. So please use AI to write blogs. I'm absolutely begging you.
If the prompting piece is a little overwhelming, you can even use that to your advantage when using ChatGPT or AI. You can go on there and say, hey, I would really like to write some additional high converting Instagram captions. What do you need to know from me? And then ChatGPT will actually give you a list and say, okay, where are you located? What's your business name? Who's your ideal client? What type of people do you normally work with? What types of projects do you like to work with? Do you not do garages, or do you like to do garages? Do you only want to do pretty pantries or not? It will actually ask you all of that information. And essentially all of what you're doing is seeding ChatGPT with more information and just giving them a more detailed version of what goes on behind the scenes in your business, so that then they can produce and generate better results for you. So if the prompt piece feels a little overwhelming, you can just type in and ask it to guide you on what it needs to make the most success for you.
You could even have, if you have done blogging in the past, but maybe inconsistently, you could even say, here is my blog. Here's the URL for my blog. Can you please analyze it and give me suggestions on how to write better blogs? There are lots of things you could do to kind of ease your way in, rather than getting overwhelmed. But also you have these prompts that we're going to give you from this presentation, and you can just use those and see what happens with them. So there's always that too. We have a couple of different examples where, because this is an audio medium, it's probably not as exciting for us to read through these all. But if you go to that links page, you can see all of the prompts we have. For instance, we have prompts for difficult conversations. That is actually a way that a lot of people use ChatGPT. They have to have a hard conversation with someone on their team or a friend, or, just something that you are really, really worried about. It can really help you through that. And there are lots of different things. Again, you probably aren't even thinking about all the things you could do, but if there is something that you were struggling with, just put it in a chat GPT. I'm not suggesting you use it this way, but I did hear about someone who was using it the other day to fight with her husband. And she was like, this is what my husband said. What should I say back? And I'm like, I don't know that that's the best use for it, but I mean, you do what feels good to you. So
I think I'll stick to my difficult conversations with firing it, buying it. I don't want to turn my husband. I don't want that to happen. That's
no. I don't think that's good for anyone. Okay, so you use AI to like audit your business, right? I want to hear about that.
Okay, so we actually use AI to audit our business a lot, and I kind of mentioned it earlier. It is essentially an unbiased review for your business. You can feed it different aspects. You can show contracts or proposals, or I have even used it to submit client information, to recap projects, type of clients that we're working with, the majority of areas that we normally work in, just some of those things that would take me a long time to review, create some statistics around. And so I have a couple different audits that we use fairly regularly in our business.
Okay, tell us about them. I'm ready.
Okay, so marketing content audit is always a good one. I would just tell ChatGPT. Of course, I went with more basic prompts for the sake of this explanation. You are more than welcome to expand upon, and I highly recommend expanding them. But I just asked ChatGPT to look through my captions. That was like a month's worth of posts, and I just wanted to know what tone was most used. I wanted to know if we had calls to actions on all of those Instagram captions. I also wanted a repurposing strategy. So I was able to give it all of this information, and then ChatGPT said, hey, these converted really well. Could you make a reel out of them? And so that's one way that we use it. I feel like this is really important for any of my solopreneurs or solo by choice, just so that you're not, hiring a high-level consultant or marketing agency. It's going to give you some of those tactics and strategies to up your marketing plan with very little effort on your part and no money spent either.
Right. I just want to take 12 seconds and talk about CTA, call to action. So when we talk about using CTAs, what we want you to do is, and this is becoming increasingly popular and you probably see it a lot, but I want them on your website and I want them on your social media. So a call to action is, what does someone do if they've gone through your content, and what do you want them to do? So do you want them to drop a comment? Do you want them to click a button to schedule a consultation with you? What do you want them to do with the thing that you have just given them? So when we talk about CTA, that's what that is. And they're important because we want to have CTAs at the right point to catch people. So marketing audit, I love it. What's next?
Okay, so next we've got website and SEO audit. This is also one of my favorite. Okay, so I'm going to keep saying that. They're all my favorite. AI is...
So you can't say everything's your favorite.
Everything AI is my absolute favorite. This was actually kind of fun because this opened up a whole new world for me. So we essentially did a website SEO audit on our website, and I was asking it basic questions on where could I improve SEO, clarity, and even flow. Like we had a couple of those missing call to actions to where people would finish a section of the website, and then it was just like, okay, now what? And so it actually gave me a breakdown on where those gaps were, but also gave me options to add more keywords. Like we didn't want things to feel overstuffed or overdone, but there were several different areas. It was like, hey, you should pop this here. It flows naturally with the conversation. It's going to help your SEO. And so that was absolutely fabulous. This is a great option, especially, again, if you're bootstrapping it, don't want to give up profit, like you can use this as a lower cost option. One of my favorite things that I actually used it for that came from this website and SEO audit was a little more techie, even for me. But it essentially, on the back end of our website, it was missing like a local schema markup. And like I wouldn't have known. I helped build my website with a designer, and I had no idea to add that or look for that. And so it actually helped me write the code and inject it into our website. And now it registers to other computers, other search engines, crawlers, that kind of thing, as a local service-based business in Lubbock, Texas. And like I'm saying, the possibilities on this are literally, there's no limit.
Well, it tells you things that you either would have to invest a lot of money in or that you would have to do a lot of searching to find. Like, I'm pretty up to date, and there are things that the other day I was searching for something and I'm like, oh, I had no idea XYZ. Like that local schema thing is a good example. Just having it look at your website. I did that the other day for the Pro Organizer Studio website, and it gave me some really great suggestions on how to word things and things that were unclear and all sorts of stuff. And I think a lot of times, especially with our websites, we're so close to it that you're too close to it. You need someone who can look at it from that lens of, just a dispassionate observer. And there's nothing more that fits that more than AI. And it also, as a bonus, has a bunch of really good advice on the other end.
Fabulous advice.
Super good way to use ChatGPT. All right, client experience audit. What is that about?
Okay, so this is for anybody who, like you said, that was a great segue. You're too close to your business. Essentially, I had been staring at our service proposal and it was just looking, I don't know, dated. It didn't feel like it had the right information, or maybe it was too wordy here, didn't really quite grasp our whole process with clients. And so I actually just asked for a review of that proposal, and it basically gave me like, here's where you could condense this. This is not really needed. That's too technical, too detailed. That will change project to project. Here's where you can map out your framework and your whole process overall. And so it just gave a lot of those little tips that I feel like for someone who may be unfamiliar with organizing and hiring us potentially for the first time, I didn't want to overwhelm them, but I wanted to give them enough information, and it really, really helped smooth that over and make it flow logically without just being that overwhelming, water hose full of fire hose full of information.
A water hose full of fire. You do not want a water hose full of fire. By the way, just really quickly, on the last podcast that Cabri and I did, we were talking about the How To Summit, and instead of saying Brady and Ryan, she said Brian and Randy. I edited that out. So the fire hose of water that's my new favorite one.
No, words are so hard.
So I want to talk about this client experience audit and organizers, I just want to be clear. You are, at this point, my life's work. Okay. I care about you very, very deeply, and I love you all. But we are a wordy bunch of people, and we have it in our heads that a client needs 200 pieces of information in order to want to book with us. And that is not what a client needs. A client does not need that. They do not want it. And it is very overwhelming to them. And by the way, I suffer from this myself. You're not alone, right? But this client experience audit, I think, can be really transformative if you ask some of those questions. Like, is this too wordy? Is it too much information? If someone is an overwhelmed, busy, tired mom, what do they need to know? I think this is a really, really awesome use of AI.
I also think that you can use it from start point to essentially making the sale. So it could help simplify things if you have someone filling out a form and then scheduling a call and then going through a call and then scheduling an in-home consult and then booking your proposal. It could help streamline some of those pieces to basically make them say yes faster and hand over the money to you.
Yeah, absolutely. That is our goal. We want them to hand over the money. All right. What is that? Oh, time and task audit. This is a decent amount. Is that fair?
And I kind of mentioned it. Like, there's some other businesses at play in my world. And so a lot of the times I'm using it to streamline my tasks. It's also giving me a recap of things that could be just deleted off my task list, things that need to be delegated, making sure I'm honoring time to each business appropriately. And so this also, if you were getting started using AI, this could be fabulous, because if you're tracking your time in 15-minute increments for, let's say, a week, you can then send that to AI, ChatGPT, whatever, and it will give you suggestions on things that you can delegate. Hey, by the way, ChatGPT right here, I can help you do XYZ. This is things that we can help streamline or automate on the other end. And so this one can be super powerful when used correctly. I honestly do it often, but I probably need to do it even a little bit more, because I feel like I'm at that phase of life where I need to be automating, need to be trusting ChatGPT to just handle some things for me and giving things over to my team.
You just said an important word, which is trust, because I do think this is another trait of organizers, and it is a trait I for sure have, of the control piece of, if I'm not in charge of it, is it going to get done? Is it going to get done the right way? Is it going to get done in the way I want it to? And letting go of some of that control, because at least I find a lot of times that when you have that level of control, the thing might not get done at all. So letting go of a little bit of that and saying like, I'm going to give it up, and like, there might be a better way to do this that I haven't seen. So
Absolutely.
I think it's really, really, really smart. Okay. Service offerings audit.
This is another one that I highly, highly, highly recommend. This one was kind of exciting because we basically fed ChatGPT our website, our service proposals, and then a list of all of the clients we had worked with in the last 6 months, and asked what's missing. How could these things be more compelling? Where do we have gaps within our service offerings? And so it had different strategies, like our follow-up. I'm pretty consistent, but it had different things as far as follow-up for like making sure that we're actually following up with people at the 3-month, 6 months, and that 9-month, 12-month mark. They also had certain things like for us, we have about 50% of our new clients that come from moving jobs. And so we're helping them either declutter and pack or unpack and organize. And essentially, they had no idea that we did holiday teardown and then maintenance sessions or just like one-off, let's refresh the playroom type things. And so it gave us an opportunity to kind of up our marketing strategy to make sure that all of the people in our sphere actually knew all the different things that we offered. And ideally, we had a bunch of people book once we actually started paying attention to this and strategically offering them new services.
Yeah. I think this is a great one because there are, you and I talk to organizers all the time, and there are things that someone will be like, oh, you know what I started offering? Blah. And someone else will be like, wait, what? Tell me more about that. And this is a really, really great one for you to say, what are some things that I'm missing out on? And thinking about, you can even start to feed in information about your ideal client and say, hey, what are some other things that people in this cohort might be interested in? My guess is you're going to find a lot of things, and not all of them might be your cup of tea, but a lot of them are going to be. So
we had a lot of opportunity to cross-contaminate different clients with new services.
The other thing that I want to point out with the service offering audit is it kind of goes along. So service offering and marketing audit are kind of in the same realm, because what I want you to think about is, when was the last time you took your list of past clients and remarketed to them? So you can take the information out of your CRM or whatever you use and say, here's a list of my clients for the past 3 years. Give me some ideas of how I can remarket to them. Like, what are the things that you're missing out on? And are there some additional services? Have I told clients that I do maintenance? I find that's a huge gap. A lot of organizers are not offering maintenance, or not even telling people, even if you don't want to offer maintenance, do you want to do a 6-month or 1-year refresh? There are a million things like that are out there. So you can kind of combine the service offering and the marketing thing. And also figure out the times of year that you should offer different things. Back to school is August. When should I start marketing back to school organizing? Thanksgiving is November. When should I start advertising holiday decorating? All those kinds of things. So
that can be a powerful tool, especially because it costs you less money to acquire an existing client than it does to acquire a brand new client.
Yes. I wasn't able to go to, Susie Salinas did a session on that at the How To Summit, and I wasn't able to go to it, but the cost of acquisition of a new client is, depending on the kind of business you're talking about, is sometimes 5 times what it is to just keep a current client happy. Thinking about all those people that are out there that you haven't remarketed to. And they often, I find whenever I send an email, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you the other day, but I hadn't reached out. Give them a reason to reach out to you.
Oh, okay. So another one that is my absolute, I'm sorry.
You just said it again. I know. I could know. Oh, you're going there. You're like, you're just about to say, this is
y'all. Chatty G and me, we're besties. Like, I talk to Chatty G more than I talk to my family, probably. Yeah. My husband probably hates it, but whatever. So I also like to use, kind of in this like audit process, I actually like to use AI for strategic goal planning. So I will actually give it my goals. I will tell it, hey, I want to make so much in revenue. I want to work with so many clients. I want to have this much completion, essentially, when it comes to social media, marketing, blogs, etc. And it can help it can help reverse engineer that for me to say, okay, if you actually want to accomplish your goals, you need to be making X amount of dollars a month, and you need to make sure that you're blogging this many times a week, and you need to send out so many email newsletters. And oh, by the way, we have some gaps in revenue. Maybe we should offer a bundle package or a new service here. And so I actually like using it a lot for that. It has really opened my eyes as far as like how we can strategically meet our goals without burning out our team, without stressing me out, without adding a million hours to my workload. And so that's another favorite.
Strategic goal planning, I'm going to be honest with you, it's one of my least favorite things to do, but it's so important. I don't know what I've always had, it's always been one of my least favorite things about any part of my life, like my prior corporate life and all that. Like strategic planning, I was like, ugh, not a fan.
I definitely feel like this time of year, I mean, we're recording this in October, but this time of year is whenever I start to recognize like, oh, hey, we're not going to make those goals that we put out for.
But this is a great example of, this is something that it's not in my wheelhouse. I'm not strong at it. It's not something that I enjoy. This would be a great thing to say, hey, please give me some help on this. What are some things I need to look at? And goal assessment and goal planning it's critical for a good entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So AI basically for you is kind of functioning like a mentor would. And it's not replacing a mentor, but it's functioning in a lot of ways in a way that a one-on-one mentor could give you versus a high level. Is that fair?
Yes, it's going to be my strategic analytical mentor. It's not going to help me on the people side or the feeling side or like highly sensitive people. It's not going to help me on that front. It is going to help me when it comes to cold hard facts and numbers and check yes or no. Did this happen? Did it not? Where can we add it back in? That kind of thing.
Okay. Now, this is, if you're following along on the slides, I just clapped, which is not good for an audio medium. So if you're following along on the slides, this is where I just got like really excited because we're going to talk about project mockups. And I feel terrible because there was a woman in our session who was talking about this. And I just want to apologize. If you are listening to this podcast, please email me and remind me who you are and what your business is, because I would love to give you a massive shout out and like shout you from the rooftops and do whatever you need, because this was the most amazing idea I think that came out of any of our sessions, and it's project mockups. So do you want to go through like what she told us and then how people in Inspired Organizer have been using it in the past week and a half since we got back from How To?
Of course. Yeah, no, we definitely do not get to take credit for this. That was all her. It was fabulous though. So essentially what this is you are using ChatGPT in real time to give the client a visual of their space, ideally what it would look like after the fact, after they're done working with you. And so I've played around with it. Like I know what she had said the day of, and I've played around with it a little bit to make it work a little bit more for me. And I don't think I have it fully figured out, but essentially the gist is taking a photo of a client's space. For this example, we'll just say like you're walking through a garage during a consult, taking a picture of that space, putting it into ChatGPT and saying, hey, I would love to provide a visual for my client. What do you need to know from me? And so I actually did this and it asked like, are you repainting the walls? Are you updating the floor? And I was like, whoa, we're not remodeling. Like we're not doing all that. We are going to organize. We're going to declutter. I'd like to add some metal garage shelves. I want to go in and add totes, the black and yellow totes on this wall. I want to make sure that we have a bike rack that will fit both adult and kids' bikes. And I have some shovels and rakes that need to hang on the wall. And essentially, ChatGPT took the photo, resituated it, and then spit back out a photo that was this organized vision that I had described with the right products in the right spaces. Everything was very clean. I will say, so like, I don't know if this is a prompting issue on my part, but my photos, when I generate photos through ChatGPT, they just come out a little cartoonish. And so I've been trying to play with the prompting aspect to ask for like more realistic photos. And it's a work in progress. Like we can do like a 2.0 of this once I actually figure this out. But it was absolutely amazing. And it kicked it back within like a minute. And so I'm like, if you're standing in a client's garage and they're saying, I just don't know, like, it seems like a big investment. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know. You can literally hand them that photo and say, this is what it's going to feel like. This is what it's going to look like. This is what we can help you accomplish. This is kind of the vision I had in my mind. I also played around with several different variations. So if you're in that instance and the client's like, I don't actually like these types of totes, you can also go back to your ChatGPT mockup and say, okay, we don't actually want black and yellow totes on this metal garage shelf. We're going to install shelves and they need to be clear totes with white lids. It will help you update that in real time so that the client can visualize it. And I personally think this is going to be a game changer for our industry when it comes to the selling process of consults to close and just making our clients visualize and see what we're capable of in real time.
Think about it. It's like the version of an after that the client gets, but they don't have to go through all the work. And so it's legitimately, it's an inspirational thing that you can give them right there. And the woman that told us that she does this, I remember her saying, like, clients can't give me money fast enough. That, like, she shows them these pictures and they're like, great, come over, start tomorrow. Because it gives them that after without having to go through all the work, and it helps them. And we've had a couple people in Inspired Organizer who used that and showed us their before. The one that I loved was someone did it in the consultation and she showed them like their theoretical after, and then she showed what the actual after was, and it was very close. And so you can also use it as a guidepost. If your client really likes it, you can be like, hey, this is the visual that we're looking to achieve there. And we had someone else who used it. She had a client who was trying to envision, this is a little off of organizing, but it's in the realm. Her client wanted a little coffee nook to look different. So she put a different color on the wall and did all sorts of stuff. And our client's like, yeah, I'm going to go do that right now. So it has this one in particular, I think, is the most applicable usage in our business to really actually drive sales. I think it's genius.
We are selling a transformation, even if we don't actually know how to sell a transformation whenever we are offering organizing services to clients. And this is going to be the visual aspect that they need to understand the transformation before they ever give you $1. But I do think, like our friend said in the presentation, I don't think people are going to be able to give you money fast enough.
Yeah. I just know I can think about so many clients that I have who, one in particular that I'm thinking of, who just always says, like, I don't have the vision. I can't see things the way you see things. And she can't until it is, she has no sense of imagination. And so for someone like her, it's really like such a great tool to be able to say, this is what I'm trying to give you. And that, yeah, selling that transformation, we know in our heads what it's going to look like. And we know when we walk into a crazy closet, we know, oh my gosh, this client is going to love when she comes in here, but she only sees what she has right in front of her. You sell her that transformation. I think an amazingly good point. So go use this one. Okay, so if you're following along on the slides, you have an example of just a pantry, right? So what was your prompt to get from the from to the to on this pantry?
Okay, so I don't know the exact prompt because I had several variations, and you'll see them if you're following along on slides. But I essentially just did one wall of the pantry and said, let me see how this would look like organized with black metal bins and gold bin clips. And so you can see it's not like a perfect match, but they do look like the M Design metal wire.
Really do.
Baskets, yeah. And then it has gold bin clips. You've got some dark wood Lazy Susans. I will say, so like there's one of these bins that it just like auto-populated the word and it just says goods. And then
yeah, it does right there. But I wouldn't have known that. I think it's, yeah, does it say snack? Like S-N-A-C-T-S?
Yeah, it's definitely not perfect, but
Sure.
we're just wanting to give the client like a quick visual of like, okay, here's the style I think that we could go with. This would accomplish that purpose.
Yeah, I will tell you, I'm looking at the pictures and I'm telling you, I would never have noticed that. Like if we weren't like really diving in. The to and from is a really good representation. So absolutely love it. So this, condiments. Condiment. Okay, what does it say? Oh, next to condiments. Nut. Hilarious.
Okay, so this is where I feel like you have to like fact check, proofread,
right.
The photo generation piece leaves a little desire, but essentially,
not bad.
If you're following along on the slides and
this is
seeing these different variations, I asked, my original question for the pantry was black metal bins and gold bin clips. I then just asked for acrylic bins and acrylic Lazy Susans with label maker labels. And then my final prompt was asking that same pantry, but I wanted it to be wood bamboo version. Playing with the styles to see, I still feel like I could easily do this with a client in the moment, less than 60 seconds, be able to show them a quick variation of what I'm thinking in my brain that I want to accomplish in their space.
Yeah. But I do urge people to go to the photos because it's very entertaining how some of the things are spelled. But the visual is fantastic, and that's all that matters. And no one's going to think it's a real thing. Okay, the garage one, though, I think is such a good example of, because garages, I mean, they're not attractive spaces. And if you can turn a garage into an attractive space, I think that really says something. So you have some mock-ups there of the garage spaces.
Yep. I am really trying hard to play with this and like perfect it, because I feel like once it's perfected, the game changer for our entire industry.
Yeah, for sure. So I texted Cabri as I was editing this podcast, and I said, we did an unintentionally amazing job at having 3 very natural stopping points for this so that we could divide it up more easily for everyone to digest. So hopefully you got a lot out of that. And then tomorrow we will, so on part 3, our final part of All About AI, we are going to be talking about how you can leverage AI for some really hard work that is going to be massively time saving. We're talking about saving hours and hours and hours of your own time by having it operate for you on a few things. Can't wait to see you tomorrow back on the podcast. Again, go to proorganizerstudio.com/links if you would like these slides, if you would like a video of us doing this, if you would like resources, if you want to join Inspired Organizer. All the links are on that page, every single one. So there you go. Okay, that's it. Have a great day, organizers.